Hello, what up? It's John, your Move Mad Man, and I'm back. And today is going to be an exciting video because we get to talk about Glass today and close the chapter of that trilogy. So Glass is the subject of today. The film, that is not actual Glass. We're not going to talk about Glass. Well, we're going to talk about the film. We're not going to talk about actual Glass because, you know, this is a movie review channel and not a Glass review channel. If you want to see some videos about actual Glass, then you've come to the wrong place because this is about the film and not. Anyway, I'm going to show you the back cover because I always forget to show you the back cover. This is a 15 as well, so it's one of Shyamalans PG-13 rated 15s. Most of his films are 12s. This is one of the ones that pushes it up a little bit just because it's a little bit more tense and a little bit more violent, and British people can't handle that. Anyway, we're going to take the plastic off for you. How's that? Let's have a little look inside, eh? Now there's a surprise for you. Original artwork on a 4K disc. Look at that. They obviously couldn't be bothered with the Blu-ray, but original artwork on the 4K disc. I quite like that. It's nice, isn't it? We're gonna pop this into the player, have a look at both of them, and then I'm gonna be back to compare them for you, like I do in most of my videos. But stay there. Well, that was interesting. I'll tell you that. Like I do in most videos, most of them are quite interesting. So I'm gonna cover everything, I think. I'm gonna start controversially with the sound, actually. So popping the Blu-ray in, one of the first things I noticed was the sound. I was like, oh, bit of extra sound on a Blu-ray. Weren't expecting that. So that was something I was a bit like, I'm gonna listen out to see what the sound looks like when I pop the 4K in as well, because that was a very big surprise for me. So then the 4K disc went in, had a little listen, and I was very surprised that the sound on the 4K disc was just so much louder. It was nice. It's nice to have a loud film without having to turn it up, because it's already loud. You don't have to turn it up, do you? Because it's already loud. I mean, you can turn it up, but then you might break your windows and stuff like that, and you don't really want to do that. I'm not sure my friend I live with would be very happy if I started breaking windows because the sound was on too loud. Bass, it's all about that bass. Extra bass in there, extra rumbles in there. Dolby Atmos at its best. Through a sound bar as well, so I'd love to hear what this sounds like with a surround sound system too. So that's exciting for you, isn't it? It is, I know it is. So then you have a look at that picture. I did that, had a look at the picture on the Blu-ray, had a look at the beginning, which was quite helpful because the beginning was all set inside with no lights on, so I had a little look around at the picture details there, and then it was really handy because the next chapter was all inside with lights on, which was better, so you can see brightness versus darkness, a couple of shots outside at night time and during the daytime, just to compare it all. It's literally what I do when I come to comparing these things. I like to find a close-up of someone's face and see if I can look at facial details on a Blu-ray and facial details on a 4K. You know when you're watching a good 4K Blu-ray when you've got really good picture details of someone's face, and you can like see all their hairs and see their beads of sweat and stuff like that. So what about this then, eh? So I did that little look, and you know what? The Blu-ray looks really good. I was really impressed with how the Blu-ray looked before I even put the 4K disc in. There were even parts where I had to check that I hadn't put the 4K disc in by a mistake, because that's how good the picture looked on the Blu-ray. So I was a bit like, I have no idea how the 4K picture is going to look much better than this Blu-ray. So then obviously you take the Blu-ray out, didn't you? Put the 4K disc in and had a look at it again. And you know what? The picture itself, the actual picture itself, wasn't that different. You could still tell that it was an upgrade from a Blu-ray to a 4K, but that was literally because I was just staring at the Blu-ray and then looking at the same details in 4K. That's how I could tell that there was a difference. But all in all, like, if you're not looking out for those details, you probably wouldn't really notice that much of an upgrade from the Blu-ray to the 4K. To be fair, this was released in 2019, the beginning of 2019, so it is quite newly shot, so it was going to look good on the Blu-ray anyway, so I already accepted that it wasn't going to be that much of a difference. But I never really originally, I say that, but I never originally owned this, so I thought I'll get it in 4K as I was going through my Shyamalans films that I didn't have in 4K. Now I have them all in 4K. Well, the ones that you can get in 4K I have. The film itself now, as a closing chapter to this epic trilogy, considering they leave you at the end of Split saying, oh look, this is set in the same universe as Unbreakable, and everyone was like, oh my god. And then they were like, they're going to be making a third one that combines all three of these characters together, and everyone was like, oh my god, this is going to be so good. And I think that was the problem. So many people went into this film expecting it to be this massive, amazing, epic movie, and it just wasn't. It just wasn't. It was a really good idea, done really badly, I think is the best way to put this, especially as you get closer and closer to the end and everything starts to unravel, and it's just a bit like, why did you decide to go that way? I don't understand why you decided to do it like that. I mean, it's his story, he can do it how he wants, but I was just a bit like, I don't know, I enjoyed Glass. When it gets to that last 20 minutes, I was a bit like, I'm not sure I like this film anymore, but it's still okay for what it is. If you enjoy a bit of Shyamalan, you enjoy a bit of mystery, and you have no idea what's going on, blah blah. You know, it's still good. It's still good. I wouldn't have said it was one of his awful films, but it's definitely not his best. That's probably the greatest way to describe it, just like that. Yeah. So I mean, if you've seen it and you're looking to see it in 4K, I'd say it's worth seeing in 4K, especially if you don't already own it. If you already own the Blu-ray and you're thinking, I want an amazing picture upgrade, it's not going to be an amazing picture upgrade. It still will be an upgrade, but don't go as far as to think you're going to be plucking your eyes out because of how good it is. Alright, so that's it for today. I was going to do a review for the new Ant-Man, but I decided against it, not because I didn't like the film, but more I thought if I'm posting a review for a film showing in the cinema, it kind of beats the idea of doing the review when it comes out on Blu-ray. So when it's out on Blu-ray, I'll do the review then, can do an opening and all that sort of thing and put it all together. Alright? Alright. That's it for today. I'm going to go, I think. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'm gonna fuck off. Alright, goodbye.